Hey guys, this is Vol, and I'm going to take another look at StarCraft 2 the beta. This time, you're not actually watching a replay that features myself. This is between Rhett and Infernal, two top European StarCraft 1 players. Rhett now in Korea, actually. And Rhett is the red Zerg down the bottom left corner, and Infernal is the blue Protoss at the top right. Now, this is Liquibition. This is a event that Team Liquid has put on. Go and search for Team Liquid and check out their website if you want to watch the replays of this series. Now, it has been already commentated on by Day 9, who is an experienced commentator, much better player than I am. So, really, what you're getting here is just my opinion and my little rant about StarCraft 2 and a little bit of a look at these games. Maybe if you don't watch Team Liquid events and don't watch the replays, then you might not have already seen the game. Many of you guys will know the results already, but just putting it up on my page because I haven't actually put up any Protoss versus Zerg games at all. And recently I've been a bit frustrated with StarCraft, and I wanted to sort of talk about why. I want to give you some general feedback about my own view and experience of this game. I haven't really been playing StarCraft 2 much over the last few days. Been a bit frustrated with it. I'm going to really wait to see, not so much for them to patch it, but wait to see what other players decide to start to do with it, how the game sorts of evolve, and then maybe I'll start playing up again. I haven't really been having fun with it. Now, that's just a personal view. Other people are enjoying it immensely, and it is quite a good-looking game, quite a fun game. But the reason I haven't really been enjoying it that much is because I'm finding that I'm doing a lot of repetitive things. When I try other stuff out, it doesn't really work very well. I'm losing a lot of games to people that I can tell that they're not particularly good RTS players because they make a lot of strategic and tactical mistakes and micro errors and so forth that they really shouldn't, and yet they might have a unit combination that I can't really stop because I don't know how to with Terran. So that's frustrating. Maybe it is a fault with Terran, maybe it's a fault with me, probably more likely a fault with me. But for now, I've sort of left it be. I don't really want to pick out one of the other races. Just going to have a look at Zerg versus Protoss, which is not a matchup that I see very much. And what he's done here is he's actually got a forge in the corner of his space, which the Overlords haven't spotted yet. And he's building a cybernetics core just off one gate. Rhett is going for a Roach Warren after his second hatchery there, and taking to a lair. So pretty safe stuff. I mean, with your queens early on, you really have the ability to react to your opponent very well, because if you see him rushing towards you, you just throw in those extra larvae, morph them all to Zerglings or Roaches, and you're safe. If you see your opponent expanding or playing really defensively, what you can do is just morph them all to drones and then overtake them economically. So Zerg seems like a very strong race at the moment, probably the strongest in my opinion, so as far as I've seen. Just because I've seen Zerg dominate Terran so easily, and against Protoss, as we'll see in the series, Zerg are very powerful as well. Now this is a best of 7 match between Rhett and Infernal. I'm not really sure whether these guys have much of a history playing each other in StarCraft 1. Rhett is probably the more remarkable player in StarCraft 1, having made it to Korea and succeeded in events, whereas Infernal has been, he's a member of TOT clan, TOT Infernal, as far as I can remember. At least he used to be, maybe still is, can't remember, but he is a notable player. I have actually commentated on his StarCraft 1 games before. Infernal deciding to add 2 gateways to his build here, and the Overlord spots it before it's destroyed. So he has some idea of what's going on. Twilight counts are going down now. That will allow Infernal to upgrade things for Zealots and tech up a bit more. Looks like Rhett's going for Zergling speed, I think, and just waiting for his lair tech to kick in. And it's got Roaches building now. Now, while we're sort of waiting here, this gives you another opportunity to talk about something that I don't really like about StarCraft 2, and that's all the sort of camping that that goes on. Now, Blizzard has designed StarCraft 2 to be a game where harassment and sort of getting into your opponent's base is really paramount and something that's very important and will make the game exciting. Well, you're not seeing that at the moment in this game, and I haven't seen that a lot in the games that I've played. I mean, I've done harassment, but it always seems to be stopped pretty easily at the end of the day if my opponent wants to and is able to. Whereas the StarCraft 1, there's a lot of stuff you could do, and your opponent was quite limited in what he could do, although if he was very good he could stop it. But you needed to have a lot more foresight and scouting and skill to be able to stop harassment in StarCraft 1, even though it wasn't designed that way. And another thing about StarCraft 1 is that when you have units like tanks and lurkers and so forth, you can set up positions on the map which are hard to assault once you've dug in. And set up that position, and your opponent really has to sort of get around it, or be careful about assaulting you. Whereas at StarCraft 2, you're bunching up your guys in a big ball, you're attacking, you're wiping them out, or you're losing the battle and you lose. It's not really a matter of sort of going around the map and harassing expansions and going around your opponent's army and avoiding things. It's just either one big ball versus one big ball, or one big ball running away. Now, looks like Infernal's going to attack here. He's got an interesting unit mix. He's got Stalkers, Zealots, and Sentries, but his opponent's got pure Roaches, and that's something we're going to talk about more through the series. Roaches being a very dedicated ground-to-ground unit, and the only real weakness they have is air-to-ground. So even though Infernal's got a nice, interesting mix of units, he's just up against pure Roaches at this point, and he can't attack right now because the Roaches will just beat him, despite the ease of having to just mass one unit, whether you call that ease or not. Anyway, Dark Templars have been added to the mix though, so this is what makes it interesting. Overlords in this game can't detect. You have to actually upgrade them to Overseers, which is something that Red is doing right now, as you can see there. But in the meantime, look how easily the Roaches fend off that massive Protoss army, and of course the Dark Templars throwing some damage in the background here. Just waiting for that Overlord to show up, and then they're going to toast. Here he goes. Come on, Rhett says. And there's the Overseer, and bam, 2 Dark Templars destroyed before they could do much damage. And that's a large Roach army there, as you can see. Rhett's had his expansion up for a while. Infernal's just done this off one base, and he's made it like a timing attack for Dark Templars. Hasn't worked, clearly, and now the Roaches are going to go punish him. So, unfortunately, this hasn't been a particularly interesting game. What happened in this game, just to summarize, is that Rhett expanded first. Infernal delayed his expansion for some time. You might see that happen in the game of StarCraft 1, perhaps. But basically, both players massed up troops at their home. There was one particular play or gambit, if you will, which was the Dark Templar moving in. It failed because all Rhett had to do was upgrade an Overseer, killed the Overlord, killed the Dark Templars. Now he's got his Overseer in here. He's got a massive Roach army, and despite photon cannons being there, and despite there being a choke point, Rhett just has to move in. Oh, very nice with the blocking force fields there. But look how much difference it's going to make, despite having an awesome choke there, and really with some cool micro there from Infernal. The Roaches just move over essentially unstoppable. I mean, they're outnumbered by Stalkers at this point, but Stalkers are a highly inferior unit in terms of a straight fight against the Roaches, and the Roaches doing very well here now. Finally getting rid of the Roaches, but what's going to happen here is that Rhett continues to reinforce with just another wave of Roaches, and as you can see here, it's pretty easy for him to do that, given that his economy isn't really spending on anything else. I mean, he doesn't need to put anything else there. So, the next wave of Roaches obviously doing hideous damage, and he's got another group of Roaches coming in, so as soon as Infernal finishes dealing with this one, and he's having to take probes off the line now, the next lot of Roaches come in. So, all in all, not the most exciting game. It's possible for StarCraft 2 to be more interesting than this, but just for a couple of reasons, as I've pointed out, you're encouraged to stay in your base. You're encouraged in a lot of situations to use a fairly boring mix of units, and Roaches seem to be quite powerful at the moment. Going for just straight up the ramp. It doesn't really seem like he's putting a lot of effort into the use of Roaches. I guess there's some micro there, so that's not really fair to say. But it seems to be pretty easy for him to do all this damage with the Roaches, whereas his opponent finds it a lot more difficult. That's just on the surface of it. Maybe that's not the case at all. But anyway, I've got a GG. Going to talk to you guys about some of the other games shortly.